What's up, everyone? EJ here. It's been a very long time, but finally I got some time to make this video. S4 finally done. Just want to recap my pretty much quick overview of it, my thoughts about it, my experience with it, and just, I guess, final thoughts about it. I have been off for about a week and a half, I think. But yeah, I just want to recap how everything went. Just the pros about it, the cons about it, and I guess just overall my experience with it. So before that, I apologize if there is some background noise. They are cutting a tree or trees in my backyard right now. But anyways, back to S4. Yeah, the way I ended S4 was pretty simple. The same way I pretty much ended with Osteomuscular Ligandrol was just by dropping the dose. I ended with about 50 milligrams or about 2 capsules, and then the final days, maybe like the last day, I ended with 25 milligrams or just 1 capsule. I found that to be the best way, or just the way I felt comfortable most with. But you could end it however you want it. I guess that's just my preference. At least that's kind of how I like to do most of the things, or I found to work best for me. Just start off low, gradually increase until I find a good spot. Try to stay there for as long as possible, and then when I see that the end is coming, just drop the dose. So that's kind of how I did it. I don't know if anybody else does it like that, but that's the way I did it, at least towards the end. Anyways, you guys can always look back at my other videos. I did explain how I dosed it in mostly every other video for every week. So yeah, that's how I dosed it. I took it like 30 minutes to an hour before going to the gym. The half-life of S4 is very short. I think they say it's about 4 hours. So I just found the period of when I go to the gym to be the most effective. And that's pretty much what I did throughout the whole time that I took S4. I never took it early in the morning. I never took it at night, I think. But so, yeah, I always took it before going to the gym. Like I said, an hour, 30 minutes before. You could take it, right before you go to the gym, or, when you're entering the door or whatever. But that was just my preference. I kind of, I want it in my system as soon as I get into the gym. So it kicks in right away. But yeah, that's kind of how I did it. See what else I got. Positives. I'll just go right into that. Positives of S4. Now, what they say S4 does is makes your muscles harder, burn fat, stronger, strength, and vascularity. I think those are the main ones. Harder look, all that stuff. And for the most part, all that did happen. I pretty much said it in mostly every video. I would have the pump, the hardness, the strength, and the vascularity, which kicked in towards about the middle, like in the middle of this experiment, I guess. But yeah, pretty much everything it said it does did happen. With kind of one thing that I was kind of skeptical about, or didn't see a whole lot of, was the burning fat. Even though I do feel leaner, or I did feel leaner, and I looked much leaner, it wasn't a drastic amount of fat that I guess I lost. I think it was mostly in other areas, which I guess I would say probably my chest, a little bit of my arms, and a little bit of my back and legs. But it wasn't a crazy amount of body fat lost. It just kind of helped you leaned out in certain areas. But other than that, the pump was great. Every single workout was crazy. Felt very good. Hardness definitely noticed. Overall, just I looked much harder, much fuller, much leaner. Striations coming out everywhere, and it just felt good, and also looked good. Could definitely notice people just kind of staring and stuff. But overall, very much like that aspect of the S4. Strength wise, wasn't a crazy amount. It wasn't like I wasn't hitting 100% more on my bench press or my squat, but definitely noticed more endurance, more reps, sets in mostly every other exercise. Could go much longer, rest periods much shorter. But yeah, I definitely noticed that type of strength. I wasn't hitting PRs every damn week, but just more weight, more reps, more sets, less rest, that stuff, that sort of thing. So I liked that aspect of it. Of course, the way I looked was kind of what I noticed more. The hardness and all that stuff. Vascularity wise, I did not notice in the beginning, but as I continued, I did notice a little bit of vascularity in certain areas that sometimes were very minimal or not at all. So I'll give you guys an example. Genetically, I do not have that vein in my bicep. Now, I know a lot of you guys do. You guys probably look at yourself now, even if you don't lift, or some people who don't even lift have that vein that runs to their bicep. I do not have that. My dad doesn't have that. My brothers don't have that. I don't have that. So that vein that runs usually through your shoulder, down through your bicep, and then into your forearm. Now, I am very vascular in my forearm at certain times, and in my shoulder. It just totally skips my bicep or my arm, whole in general. And while on the S4, I did start noticing some veins coming in, especially when I would do biceps and stuff like that. They weren't throbbing or anything, but I could definitely notice them under my skin. Overall vascularity, I could notice some under my skin on my chest, on my back, on my legs, on my calves, shoulders, all those places. I wasn't looking like Frank McGrath or anything, but definitely noticed some vascularity in there. Definitely helps improve that. If you already have crazy vascularity or a good amount of vascularity, I think S4 was really gonna help enhance that. But yeah, those are the pros. I think. Hopefully, I'm not missing anything. But yeah, overall, the pros, what it said it's gonna do, it did, and very happy overall. So, negative wise, I'll be honest with you guys. There's really nothing to tell you guys besides the vision problems. I'm not sure what anybody else has experienced, but me personally, that's all I experienced, just the vision problems. I had some other outside issues, which I believe S4 had nothing to do with, but regarding S4, the vision problems are the only thing that I was able to notice. Some people say that you get a yellow tint in your eyes. I personally didn't get that a whole lot. I think I had it a few times. I noticed it a few times, but overall, it was so minimal, I didn't even notice it. The only thing I did notice was a light sensitivity. So, if it was sunny or anything, it would kind of hurt my eyes. It would take a while to adjust. But overall, it was nothing super major, honestly. I think after like a minute or two, my eyes were fine. I was seeing just fine. It wasn't damaging or anything. It wasn't hindering me from doing anything whatsoever. I could still drive. I could still walk. Still run. Whatever. I could function perfectly. Just a little bit light sensitivity. Of course, that would increase as the dosage go up. But it does go away once you get off it. So if you are having those problems, kind of when I did notice it, I came off it for about like 2 days, I think, and it completely went away. It was totally fine. Like I said, I've been off it, and I felt like I never had anything whatsoever. So that's pretty much the only negative thing I would have to say. Of course, everyone's going to be different. Some other people might have harsher side effects, but me personally, that's pretty much all I have to say regarding the negatives on it. So yeah, but overall thoughts of the S4. For anybody who has seen my other videos, There was a time where I was off it for quite a few times, and I think that kind of threw me off. So I do want to point that out there, that if you are going to do anything like this, SARMs wise, or pretty much anything, any supplement, whatever, um, the best way it's going to work is if you're consistent with it and you're doing other things outside of it to help that. So kind of what I mean by that is, if I guess I will just give the S4 example. S4 is said to, kind of make you harder, lean you out a little bit. It's a good, I guess, thing to use during now summertime, which is one of the reasons I decided to take it. If you're going to take something like S4, you don't want to be eating McDonald's, Burger King, missing days of the gym, going half-ass and stuff. This stuff is only going to work as much as you do. It doesn't matter. You could take, all the SARMs in the world, all the steroids in the world, but if your diet isn't right, if you're not working hard, you're not going to get the best results. That's just plain facts. I had a friend, just a quick example of, that if you don't put the work, you're not going to get the best results. It's actually just going to backfire on you. I had this friend who took protein powder, a mass gainer. He's kind of a skinny kid. He's athletic, but he's skinny. He took this protein powder, never worked out. It was a mass gainer, and he just he gained like 10 pounds of fat. And you could definitely tell, you could notice in his face, in his stomach, he lost a lot of definition. Like I said, he's an athlete, so he was able to kind of get rid of it pretty quick with some discipline in it. But, don't be taking stuff if you're not going to put the work in, is pretty much what I'm trying to say. So yeah, stay consistent if you are going to take anything like this, which I found to be the best way to do it. So that's kind of what I learned. Hopefully you guys learn from my mistakes, and I have learned from my mistakes. See what else can I tell you guys? Just, I guess, be safe with it. This is just an experiment for me. I don't know if I will do it ever again. Probably later on when, I don't know, see how things go. I really don't know what's coming up. But we'll see how things go. But overall, S4, I liked it very much. It's probably one of my favorites SARMs right now so far. Even though I have like the Onsta Muscle, the Ligandrol, all that stuff, I very much enjoyed those two. And I think a combination of all three would actually be very excellent. But I really don't plan on doing anything like that anytime soon. So yeah, I just wanted to see what S4 was all about, since it is kind of something new. But yeah, that's my kind of insight on it, guys. Just to recap everything very quick. What S4 is set to do. The S4 from EnhancedAthlete.com, just make it clear. It says to make you harder, strength-wise, vascularity, lose fat. It did all that. Of course, it's only going to work for as much as you do. The negatives, which is set to do, the eyesight, all that stuff, it did happen. But of course, everyone's going to be different in every aspect. So I do not, I'm not going to recommend anybody take it. But, if you do happen to do anything like that, of course, be careful, to be smart. Don't be taking anything that could damage you. Don't go all hardcore and stuff. And I guess kind of talking about that, some people have kind of told me that going like this, I'll be on gear pretty soon. And even though that is tempting, I don't plan on going full gear anytime soon. I am one of those people who think steroids should be legal. They fascinate the hell out of me. I'm interested in all this, anabolic agents, all this anabolic chemicals, whatever. It interests me, but I don't plan on taking that anytime soon. Probably not in another, probably 10 years, maybe. But, who knows? I could just do it just for the hell of it. But whatever. Yeah. Not sure what I plan on doing next for you guys. I do want to try something else. Maybe not from Enhanced Athlete. Maybe just something outside in general. something that has caught my eye has been arachidonic acid. Kind of want to see what that's all about. Kind of heard some good things about it, heard some bad things about it, but the best way to know about something is to pretty much experiment for yourself, or experience it for yourself. So yeah, guys, hopefully you guys found all this S4 stuff informative. If I missed something, if you guys have any question whatsoever about what I did while on it, how I took it, what I experienced, whatever, if I missed anything, please let me know, because I know I always miss something, and I try to tell you guys as much as possible, or at least the most important stuff that I think you guys should know or would want to know. But anyways, I know there's people always have questions, so don't be scared to ask it. I will try to respond to everyone as best as I can. I'm not an expert on all this stuff. I'm not. I'm learning as I go, like anyone doing something new. Of course, always do your research, all that stuff. But anyways, guys, hope you guys like this. Any questions, leave a comment. Please like, subscribe, and until next time.